The coverage of the legislative power in exercising tax is unlimited as to the scope, so that's related to the plenary as one of the nature of the taxation power. So we have first the personal tax, which is a fixed levied upon all persons of certain class within the jurisdiction without regard to their property. So basic example, we have community. So this is on dependency on a person. It doesn't regard on the property, occupation, and the business. Second is property tax. This is another local tax that is certain class-based value measures. So this is one portion of this one is intended for education. Third, we have excise tax. This is an exercise of the privilege or the right for performance to act or the consumption of production. So that's why we have income tax, donors tax, state tax, the VAT, that's part of that, the percentage is part of that. Custom duties is we have tariffs charged commodities when we are importing or exporting the country. So there are tariffs in there. So again, the purpose of having that, let's say for the importation, is to protect the local industry from the competition. The classification second is in accordance with the burden, who will shoulder or will pay for the tax. So we have direct and indirect. Direct is those who earn is the one who will pay. But in here, in the indirect, tax falls on one person, but it is to be paid by the buyer. So the seller is selling an item, and part of the selling price is the tax that is added on it, that is to be paid by the buyer. But the one who will remit the tax is the seller. So that is one way of shifting the burden. So that's why it's called indirect. So one of those is the value-added tax. Number 3, classification as to purpose. As to purpose, again. Number 1, remember that we have fiscal tax, that is to raise revenue. And the second is we have for regulatory. Okay, so that is the secondary. You can still remember our discussion in the previous videos. Fourth is classification as to measure of application. So in here, it's talking about the tax base in the computation. So we have specific tax, we have ad valorem. Specific tax is based on the quantity. So there could be like 10 pesos per liter, not the amount. Here, ad valorem like 12% of sales price. Yeah, that's ad valorem because it's based on the amount sales price. Here, it's based on the measurement, physical measurement, the liter. Fifth is the classification according to taxing authority. So we have just two, the national and the local, and that's it. So for the local, the taxes involved in here are only property and I think the community tax. Don't be confused with the dog stamp. The dog stamp is a national tax. Number 6 is the classification as to the rate. So this we have progressive tax, the schedular tax we have for individual. Again, the schedular tax table. So this is supported by the Constitution, but it is not interpreted as mandated, but only encouraged to evolve progressive tax system. The second, we have progressive. So this one is they are those that are imposed as indirect taxes, of which the one who is paying or earning less, the one who is paying more taxes. Okay, like the VAT, the highest payer of the VAT is actually the final consumer. That is the highest payer. because of the increasing sales price as it pass on from one hand to another hand, and the ultimate consumer is the individual, has the lowest earnings, and it pays the highest VAT. So that's why this the regressive in effect, those indirect. Proportionate is the same as indirect proportionate, like the VAT, like the percentage tax. Those are proportionate tax or flat rate tax. Okay, now that's all for the classification of taxes according to different category or criteria.